A very good morning to all. Warm welcome to today's session of Media Technology. Myself Swastika Chatterjee from MA Journalism Sim 2. Without a further ado, let me welcome the moderator of the session, Dr. Vaishna J. Vaishna ma'am, please. Uh, Dr. Vaishna J is working as for the past 8 years as assistant professor of Department of Visual Communication, Mother Teresa Women's University, Kodaikanal, Tamil Nadu. She earned her doctorate in Pondicherry University and has owned much of her research to children, media, and the internet since then. She has published 28 research articles in many reputed research journals and published two books related to children's and the changing media environment. She has won Best Paper Award at ICOM 12 International Conference at Malaysia, won Best Editor Award at Asian Book of Records 2021, Educational Excellence Award 2021 at Loyola College, and was state level eligibility test exam convener during 2018 for the Department of Mass Communication. Catholic Youth Committee Secretary of 2017 has conducted various workshops on school for children for safer internet usage, has framed net etiquette syllabus for students to be included in the school curriculum, has presented personal to Tamil Nadu higher education, was invited as Nobel University Washington DC as a speaker in panel discussion about role of media during pandemic 2021. Currently working on a longitudinal study of usage pattern of children's digital environment and the role of the school in educating children in data-filled society, such as addition of media education curriculum, which provides children with deeper and critical understanding about digital environment and its business model. Then I have nothing to do. I just hand over the session to Vaishna ma'am. Vaishna ma'am, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you. It was a wonderful intro. Thank you. And it takes an immense pleasure for me. First of all, I would like to thank my uh, Sharmila for giving me this opportunity. And with further, am I audible?
Yes, Vaishna, you are perfect, Lord.
And with no delay, I would like to introduce the chairperson of the session. And it's really a great honor for me to introduce Dr. Professor Dev Raj Singh. Sir has been actively engaged in media profession, teaching, training, and research for the last 25 years. He is a professionally turned academician. Professor Singh has earned a doctorate in mass communication. He studied radio and television journals at the prestigious Indian Institute of Mass Communication, New Delhi in 1997. Sir has been actively engaged in television journalism with many national channels before joining media academics. At present, he is a professor of mass communication at the Department of Mass Communication, Central University, Jharkhand. Sir was dean and head in the present institution for the 6 years. Previously, he has also been associated with the Makanlal Chaturvedi University, Bhopal, Indian Institute of Mass Communication and Journalism, Kurukshetra University, and Maharishi Dayanand University, Haryana. Sir has authored 5 books on electronic media history, television journalism, and television content. His 20 research papers have been published in many reputed research journals. He contributed chapters in 12 books and more than 50 articles in various newspapers and magazines. Sir has supervised more than 100 master degrees and 50 MPhil dissertations and 2 doctorates. At present, Sir is guiding 6 PhD research scholars, is being frequently invited as a resource person by the national broadcast, All India Radio and Doordarshan in many programs. His research interests are Indian perspectives of communication, new media and visual media. Welcome, sir, to the session.
And thank you, Vaishnav, for this. Let me welcome Dr. Lal Bahadur Ojha, sir. सुप्रभात सर. लाल बहादुर ओझा सर. श्री लाल बहादुर ओझा जी ने पत्रकारिता की पढ़ाई बनारस हिंदू विश्वविद्यालय से पूरी की. जनसत्ता, कोलकाता और प्रभात खबर के रांची व पटना संस्करण के लिए काम किया. आप शिक्षा व विज्ञान प्रसार के क्षेत्र में नवाचार और शोध के लिए प्रतिष्ठित संस्थान एकलव्य भोपाल मध्य प्रदेश एवं सेंटर फॉर स्टडीज ऑफ डेवलपमेंट सोसाइटी से जुड़े. स्वतंत्र फेलोशिप के तहत भोजपुरी सिनेमा के विकास पर काम किया. इंडियन इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ मास कम्युनिकेशन में अध्यापन किया. वर्तमान आप माखनलाल चतुर्वेदी राष्ट्रीय पत्रकारिता एवं संचार विश्वविद्यालय नोएडा भोपाल परिसर में सहायक प्राध्यापक के रूप में कार्यरत है. सर, आपका स्वागत है. सेशन आप शुरू करें. देवव्रत सर और ओझा सर एंड वैष्णव, ओवर टू यू. Over to you, Vaishna.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. I think it's
so we would like to start the session. Before introducing a few
just brief about the modalities.
Hello. Yes. So the participants are given 15 minutes and 10 minutes they are allowed to present. The participants are given 15 minutes for their presentations, in which the 10 minutes will be the presentation and the 15 minutes, the last 5 minutes will be the questioning. So I request all the participants to maintain the timing, and we would like to start the session with Pragati Pallavi. Her presentation is on the title Technological Readiness Among Students in Using Information and Communication Technology with respect to e-learning platform for the educational purpose. Pragati, are you ready with your slide? You can start.
Yes.
Share it now.
Whether the question and answer session would be after the end or the last.
Is my screen visible?
Disturbed है सर. देवव्रत सर, आवाज जो है आपकी नहीं आ रही है सही से.
थोड़ा सा नेटवर्क.
Yes, Pragati, your screen is visual.
Okay. First of all, a very good morning to all the dignitaries present here. So I will be presenting, as my topic is told, technological readiness among students in using information and communication technology with respect to e-learning platform for the educational purpose. ICT has emerged as an empowered technology, especially in the field of education. It has penetrated in a very different way. ICT has created new opportunities to improve the existing education system and learning style, and has also helped to develop and innovate new effective teaching and learning method. ICT encourages students to take responsibility for their own learning. E-learning is one example of ICT which is extensively getting used by the students for their education. What is e-learning? Actually, e-learning refers to the learning with use of communication and information technology, presenting learning material through electronic media such as the internet, intranet, extranet, satellite broadcast, audio, video tape, interactive TV, CD-ROM, and computer-based training system. So as per the KPMG report 2017, there are some key motivational factors to adopt online channel, that is better concentration, convenience, variety of study material, and quality of content. As per the same report, there are some key challenges also to adopt online mode of learning, that is less content also, and pricing of the content, and some technological issues which they like internet issues which the students are facing. So these are some key challenges and key motivational factors to adopt online channel. The objective of the study is to understand the technological readiness of the student in using e-learning platform for their studies. I'll discuss some of the literature review related to the study. In some study, it has been found that students' positive attitude towards e-learning approach, the propagation of e-learning platforms inhabited them with feeling of optimism and innovativeness. Apart from the optimism and innovativeness dimensions, there are some discomfort dimension also found while using the e-learning platforms. In another study, it has been revealed that as the readiness of the art students to participate in e-learning relatively moderate, but improvement and the preparation of students in many ways is essential to implement e-learning system. In another study, it has been found that e-learning technology enables easy information access, leading towards positive attitude formation of students towards it. The study also reveals the preference of students for e-learning as it provides them much freedom to connect with their teachers, fellow students, and engage with the study material at the comfort and flexibility of space and time. The theoretical framework for the studies, the proliferation of technology-based product and service have urged the demand of studying how people are embracing these technologies in their lives. Combination of positive and negative feeling about technology underlines the domain of technology readiness. According to Pursuman's initial conceptualization, technological readiness index has 4 dimensions on which we can check the readiness of the students adopting the e-learning platform or technology, like that is innovativeness and optimism, which represents motivators, contributing to TR, and discomfort and insecurity, which are inhibitors detracting from it. Research methodology. Survey method has been incorporated in this research, and questionnaire is used as a research tool to carry on the study. Survey was conducted among the college-going students from different colleges in India. The sample size for this research is consisted of 80 students from different colleges. The sample for the study is done through by purposive sampling. Questionnaire was focused on the technological readiness of the respondent. 3 questions to measure optimism, 4 questions to measure innovativeness, 3 questions to measure discomfort, and 3 questions to measure insecurity were asked. All questions were asked on the Likert scale. To know the technological readiness as high or low, mean value of each variable under each dimensions were calculated. So in the research finding, these are some variables under all the 4 dimensions given by the Pursuman in technological readiness index. And these variables were under these variables, some questionnaires were formed, and the mean value of all these dimensions, all these variables were found, like optimism, innovativeness, discomfort, insecurity. So these are some data which has been found. I'll come to the analysis of the data. Based on mean value of each variable under optimism, the overall mean value for optimism is 12.3, which is higher than the higher value of lower scale 9 and close to the higher value of higher scale. It derives that optimism level of respondent towards technological readiness for e-learning is high. But for innovative dimension, the overall mean value for innovativeness is 13.93, which is close to the higher value of the lower scale, which means that innovativeness level of respondent towards technological readiness towards e-learning is low. Now, coming to the next dimension, that is a discomfort. The overall mean value for the discomfort came 9.6, which is again close to the higher value of the lower scale, which means that discomfort level or respondent towards technological readiness towards e-learning is low. Based on mean value of each variable under insecurity, the overall mean value of insecurity came 11.34, which is moderate as per scale, which means that students are neither insecure nor secure in using e-learning platform for their studies. That scale on which I have found its values is there in the full paper which I have submitted. Now, as per the Pursuman and Colby, there are 4 categories of people based on the technological readiness. Explorer, they have high motivation and low inhibition. Pioneers, who have high motivation and high inhibition also. Skepticals, low motivation and low inhibition. Paranoids, who are moderate motivation and high inhibition, and laggards, low motivation and high inhibitions. Now, from the above study, it has been found that the students are pioneers who have high motivation and high inhibition for using e-learning platforms for their studies. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, the session is open for the questions. Sir, your questions, sir? Dev, sir?
Yes. Pragati, your presentation was good. And I was just wondering whether you have selected a good representative sample. You did not disclose about the mode of sampling, like you interviewed, you collected data from 80 people. What was
Yes, sir.
the gender? What was the gender gender
Sir,
specification?
okay, thank you, sir, for the question. Sir, gender was, I did not mention it, and I did not specifically did the sampling in the gender section. It was mixed.
नहीं, इसी से सैंपलिंग से ये भी सवाल हो सकता है कि ये कहाँ थे लोग, सारे शहर के थे या फिर और भी?
Yes, sir, this is actually
उनका
purposive.
बैकग्राउंड क्या था? हाँ जी.
Yes, this is what I say, that is a research gap in my study. This is a purposive sampling. I collected the sample from all over the colleges which are there in the India. Purposively, I have collected the sample, sir.
नहीं, लेकिन जैसा जेंडर का प्रश्न है वैसे ही इसमें ज्यादा क्वालिटी आती. पर्पसिव तो आपने किया, तो पर्पसिव में हर तरह के रिप्रेजेंटेशन होने चाहिए ना. अभी हम ये क्या मान के चलें कि ये किन का रिफ्लेक्शन है जो आप यहाँ प्रेजेंट कर रही हैं? मेरे ख्याल से वो अगर होता तो ये आपका रिजल्ट काफी महत्वपूर्ण होता है. जी
सर, I accept it as a suggestion, and in my next study I will definitely add this point, and I will take the sample as per the gender, and I will study the specific gender and what is the gender representation also. I will show that in the study.
What
I will
was
take
the
it as
mode
a
of data
suggestion.
collection? Pragati, what was the mode of data collection? I believe you prepared a Google questionnaire and
yes, sir. I
circulated
prepared
it
a Google form for this Google questionnaire, and I circulated it to the students.
As Dr. Lal Bahadur Oja told that this is very, very important while selecting a sample, and through Google Forms we usually don't motivate students because we don't know. Either you select certain colleges or you select certain level of UG or PG students, or on the basis of gender. So it would have been more useful data. Otherwise, anybody can question that when you are saying that people were very, very pioneer and they were very motivated towards using and adopting new ICT. That is my opinion.
Sir, I take it as a suggestion, and from next time if I'll do the study, I will put all these suggestions in my research.
All right. Thank you.
Okay,
Dr. Resna, please.
Yes, yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Pragati, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Why is your, as sir said, if you have claimed it as in your Google form, then how can you claim that, justify your suggestion of saying that this sampling is a purposive sampling when you have used it as a Google form?
Because I chose my sample purposively. All the students who are actually undergrad, they are undergrad and master's student. They were purposely I chose all those students who are actually using these e-learning platforms for their study.
No, this is actually a kind of convenience, not purposely.
Yes.
Purposely means purposely you are selecting certain parameters for choosing is sample. So that way, this is not purposive also. Okay,
I'll do the correction in this.
And one more question, Pragati. Can you just let me know? No, you're sampling the terminology of using your sampling technique itself has to be clarified, has to be justified, as sir said. And one more thing is your sampling size is also very low when you're doing a scaling analysis. And your independent variable justification is also being not given in your presentation, as sir notified. And one more thing is, what is your operational definition of technological readiness?
Ma'am, I have not mentioned it here in my paper, but in the presentation, but it's there in my full paper.
Yes, but you can say it now.
Technological readiness. Can I just explain it, ma'am?
Yeah, no, give me your
As per
operational definition and where you have who from whose quotation, I mean,
this is
definitions have you quoted?
technological readiness, ma'am. Actually, it's we this is given a theory given by Parshuraman and Colby that I studied it. Whenever there is a technology, when we use, there are certain readiness of the users, whether they are ready to use that technology or not, and that dimensions which I have mentioned it, that could be different other dimensions also. But I have used those dimensions where they are where they are innovative or not, whether they are discomfort, whether they are insecure to use that or not. So these dimensions I have used in my studies.
Okay. Is there any other questions from the participants? It's open to you now. You can chat, you can type the questions if you want in the chat box. Okay, shall I, if there is no question, shall I move on to the next participant?
Please
Yes.
move on, Dr.
Yes, thank you, Pragati, for
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes. The next one to be presented is Soumya Deep Shargar and Dr. Das Gupta on the topic inclusion of AR and VR in the media industry, mapping out the future trends. Yes, it's over to you. You can share your slide.
Good morning, ma'am. Is the screen visible?
Yes, yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm Shomodip Shorkar, a student of journalism and mass communication under the University of Calcutta, and I'll be presenting on behalf of myself and Dr. Debasri Das. I thank the School of Media and Communication, Adamas University, for giving us the opportunity to present our paper, Inclusion of AR and VR in the Media Industry, Mapping Out the Future Trends. Now, what is AR and VR? That is augmented reality and virtual reality. AR refers to the technology that overlays digital information onto the real world, something that can be achieved by using a camera and a display piece. It can allow users to interact with virtual objects and information in real-time environments. VR, on the other hand, is a technology that simulates a completely artificial environment. It allows users to interact with virtual objects and environments in a way that feels completely real, but is detached from the physical world. In this paper, we shall explore the inclusion of AR and VR in the media industry. We have conducted an extensive literature review for the purpose of this study, delving deeper into what AR and VR can offer to the media industry. We have discovered that AR and VR can be used to create immersive content that can engage audiences in new and innovative ways. Additionally, these technologies allow journalists to bring their stories to life in a way that is not possible with traditional media. Immersive experiences, enhanced storytelling, increased engagement, and increased understanding some of the advantages that AR and VR bring to the field of journalism. We have also conducted research on the inclusion of AR and VR in other parts of the media industry, such as media content creation, advertising, and public relations. In the creation of media content, the technologies offer a level of immersion and interactivity that is not possible with traditional media formats. They can also be used in advertising and marketing, where VR can be used in product demonstrations and allow customers to experience a product in a virtual environment before making a purchase. They also have a wide scope in public relations, where they can create immersive, interactive experiences for attendees and give them the sense of actually being present at a physical event. While AR and VR offer multiple benefits to the media industry, they also bring several challenges and limitations which need to be addressed. These includes the high cost of developing and implementing AR and VR tech, lack of accessibility to hardware that is required to use AR and VR technology, ethical concerns around privacy, data security, and the potential for manipulation or exploitation. Media companies must ensure that they use these technologies responsibly and ethically, which can be a challenge given the complexity and newness of these technologies. For the purpose of this study, the research questions have been set. What is the current state of AR and VR in the media industry, and how these technologies have been used in content creation and distribution? And the second question, what are the future trends and developments that are expected in the field of AR and VR in the media industry? We have selected the following research methodology in pursuit of answering the research questions: the analysis of case studies and conduct interviews. For this paper, we have conducted interviews with academicians who are knowledgeable about journalism, media, and AI. These personalities include Dr. Uma Shankar Pandey, Professor Arindam Basu, and Dr. Shomo Dotto, who are academicians at the University of Calcutta and Sister Nivedita University. Now, coming to the data interpretation, we have seen that the increasing use of AR and VR in the media has brought about several advantages for prominent global newspapers and news websites. These technologies have enabled them to provide a more immersive and interactive experience to the readers, enhancing their engagement and retention of the audience. The case studies on newspapers and news websites such as the New York Times, The Guardian, and the Wall Street Journal have shown that AR and VR have been instrumental in delivering content that is both informative and engaging. The New York Times, for example, used AR to create an interactive feature on the Olympic Games that allowed users to view 3D models of various sports venues. The Guardian, similarly, used VR to allow users to explore the subterranean world of caves and underground rivers. For the purpose of this research, we have conducted interviews of academicians only. We had reached out to journalists as well, but we learned from them that AR and VR so far are yet to see a greater degree of adoption in vernacular and Indian media. This is largely due to the challenges and limitations which I have already mentioned earlier. Some of the questions we asked them included elaboration on the benefits and challenges on the adoption of AR and VR in media, how they have changed journalism so far, and how they can change the way media is produced and consumed in the future, the ethical dilemmas associated with this, and what needs to happen for greater adoption of AR and VR in media. The answers are already given. Finally, we learned that as the technologies of AR and VR continue to evolve and become more affordable, we can expect to see more content creators experimenting with AR and VR, offering audiences more immersive and engaging experiences. We have answered the two research questions that have been set for the purpose of this paper. And for this, I thank you and end my presentation.
Thank you, sir. The session is open for the questions. Sir, your questions, please.
Soumyadeep,
Sir.
your paper is about the adoption or use of AR, VR in few big media houses like BBC, and you're talking about, and you're talking to three people who are in Kolkata, Dr. Uma Shankar, Dr. Datta, and one more. There is a mismatch between that. If you would have talked to the journalists of those newspapers or those media houses, it would have been a better thing. In such a situation, actually, this is an very small with very small data or small opinion based, we can say, information. You are actually presenting a paper on a very new thing which is yet to be materialized, yet to be actually yet to take the real shape, as the experts also say, no. Actually, this is not a research paper in a manner. because you don't have sufficient data for that purpose. I would say better you should take some Indian media houses and try to do something which can be really done in Indian context, not the foreign. Because AR/VR is not has not been adopted by the Indian media houses. Talking hypothetically in any way. All right.
I agree, sir.
Dr. Ocha.
सर मेरे ख्याल से जो आपने बात कही है उसी तरफ मेरा भी ध्यान था कि आप असल में हम जहाँ रिसर्च करते हैं आप समझिए हिंदी आप समझ पाते हैं
हाँ सर।
ओके ओके तो हमें अपने कॉन्टेक्स्ट का तो ध्यान रखना ही चाहिए कि हम कहाँ पर हैं और रिसर्च का तभी मतलब होता है तो निश्चित रूप से जैसा प्रोफेसर देवव्रत ने कहा अगर इसमें इंडियन एक्सपीरियंस होते क्योंकि जो भी आपने उदाहरण दिए हैं वो फॉरेन मीडिया है हमारे यहाँ की रियलिटी बिल्कुल भिन्न है तो उसको अगर आप जोड़ पाते तो अच्छा रहता इसमें हो सकता है कि जो इंडियन मीडिया है वो भी इन टेक्नोलॉजी का इस्तेमाल कर रही है लेकिन उसमें ये भी देखना है कि हमारी जो मीडिया की जरूरतें हैं उसके लिए ये किस तरह जो आप कहते हैं कि आगे के ट्रेंड्स क्या होंगे डेवलपमेंट किस तरफ होंगे तो हमारी जो सोसाइटी की नीड है उसमें ये किस तरह से मददगार हो सकते हैं इसकी तरफ भी अगर थोड़ा ध्यान ले जाते आप और ले जा सके तो मेरे ख्याल से ये काम नया है बिल्कुल ही नया है आपने साहस किया है इसके लिए तो आप बधाई के पात्र हैं लेकिन इसमें ये चीजें जरूर जुड़नी चाहिए थैंक यू
I understand, sir. This is one of the limitations of this paper. We had reached out to journalists, but since AR and VR are yet to see a greater adoption in Indian media, would have not been added much. Because in vernacular and Indian media, due to some of the challenges that I've already mentioned, we have not seen much of AR and VR in Indian media. On the other hand, the Western media, such as the New York Times or the Wall Street Journal, they have already used AR and VR so far. We are working on it, and over time, we will add to this paper.
Sir, I have a question for you. Can you just justify why you have chosen academicians for your cases and interviewed them?
I just said we had reached out to journalists, but since we have not seen much of AR and VR in Indian media or vernacular Indian media industry, so that is why we have taken it from an academician's perspective.
No, what is the need for the academician as your unit of analysis?
Because, as I said, since this is a paper on the
so your basic unit of analysis was a journalist, and since they were very new, you chose academician. Is it so?
Yes, because this entire field, the use of AR and VR in media, we are yet to see the full potential of it. We're still in the starting steps, which is why we have not seen much.
Actually, Somidip, when we talk about research, there should be some solid base of that research. There is a phenomena which is adopted by, applied by the foreign media house, and you are simply collecting opinion from 3 academicians, 3 media teachers. This can be a good opinion writer. This can be good opinion writer. But I wouldn't say this is a research.
Okay, sir. Thank you for the feedback.
Yes. Any questions? Yes. Any questions from the participants? It's open. Okay, shall we move on to the next presentation? Thank you, sir, for the presentation. So, yeah, the next participant would be Vaishnav Raj Mishra and Dr. Lokesh Sharma, and they would be presenting on the topic digital burnout, recognizing and overcoming the negative effects of technology on wellness. Now you can present. You can share, you can start your presentation.
Mm. Is she there?
Mishra, Vaishnavi?
Vaishnavi Mishra, whether she is there in the meeting?
Vaishnavi?
Yes,
Okay.
I think she is not there, and we can invite.
Yes, we can move on to the next participant, A. Aishwarya Lakshmi and Dr. Neela Malar. The topic is on
Yes.
an analysis of infographic based on information processing model. Aishwarya, are you there? Aishwarya? No, they are not.
She's also not there, no?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, let's move to Dr. Aisha Tahir.
Aisha, the next participant would be Aisha
Aisha Tahira
and Dr. Syed.
Alfred Hussain, yes.
The topic is on artifacts of participatory digital culture, internet memes and politics. Legitimization. Aisha, are you there? Aisha?
Al Farid is
Many
there, I think.
presentations. Many presenters are really bad.
I can see Al Farid.
Alfred Hussain is
Yes.
both
Sir,
are in Silchar.
they are.
Both are in Silchar. Okay, let us invite Mohit Kumar Maurya.
Mohit Kumar and Dr. Anup.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So they will be presenting on the title editorial decision making in newsrooms, understanding the role of web analytics. So you can start your presentation.
Okay, ma'am. Just a minute. A very good morning to all the dignitaries, presenters, and participants. I am Mohit Kumar Maur, and I'm presenting a review paper titled Editorial Decision Making in Newsrooms and Understanding the Role of Web Analytics. This was a paper prepared by me and Dr.
Mohit,
Anup Kumar.
sorry to interrupt. Can you make it as a full screen?
Ma'am, this is showing as full screen on my screen. Let me try again. Please bear with me for a second.
No, no problem. Okay.
Ma'am, I am sorry that this is.
Mohit, what is the problem? What is the problem? You just say it's not going to be full screen. Na?
Sir, I don't. And this
there is a button, right corner down.
No,
isn't it working?
It is working for. I think. So on my screen it is full. I mean, I understand what your is. That is
okay, no problem. No problem.
I'm
carry on,
sorry.
Mohit.
Okay.
No, you can carry on.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. So, this, as I said, this is a review paper where we are trying to understand what is the role of web analytics in newsrooms. So, for decades, media outlets such as newspapers and television news channels, they have relied on audience measurement tools like readership surveys, circulation figures, and rating system to find out or to gain an understanding about what stories are popular among their audience, or how their coverage is being received by the audience. In addition to these audience measurement tools, there are certain feedback tools available to traditional media. For example, people can write a letter to the editor, or they can make a phone call to the newsroom. These two combined, these measurement tools and feedback tools combined, they provide media organizations a vague understanding of what their audiences are interested in, and how they are receiving the content which is being covered by the media house, and whether or not the media house itself requires a certain change in their strategy when it comes to news coverage. However, research shows that despite this data that is coming from audience measurement tools and feedback tools, journalists.
Mohit, your slides are not moving.
Sir, I am still on the first one because
Okay.
the third point that,
Okay.
however,
All right.
journalists tended to. Okay, yes, sir. So the research shows that individual journalists, they are reluctant to use audience data because the reason they provide is that few phone calls from certain members of the audience, they do not represent the whole audience. Instead, journalists, they choose to depend on their gut feeling, or in certain other cases, they depend on the opinions of their colleagues and families. Now, what has web analytics done is that it has changed the way news organizations, they determine what is newsworthy. It has changed the equation because it captures a whole lot of data about the audience, which was not possible through traditional methods. And what is unique about web analytics is that it collects the data about the audience in real time, and it reports to the news organizations. So this means that whenever you are on a news website, the organization can see what article you are reading, where are you from, or what device you are on, whether you are reading the complete article or not, whether you are sharing or not, if you are reading one article and then going on to other article, or you are simply going off from the website. The point is that now today news organizations, they have access to a huge amount of data about their audiences. Now, what these organizations do is that when they collect all of this data, they process this data to understand the larger behavior pattern of the audience. And one of the big changes is that now, with this precise data, which is unlike traditional methods, with this precise and real-time data, news organizations now expect journalists to use audience data for journalistic decisions. This means that journalists are expected to use audience data to determine what stories are newsworthy. So the change between the two, the two eras is that in the traditional method, through traditional methods, journalists were deciding what is newsworthy on the basis of their gut feeling, on the basis of their own knowledge of the field, experiences they have in the field, right? But in today's era, they are being asked by news organizations to decide what is newsworthy on the basis of information that that they are getting from web analytics. So if I summarize what web analytics actually do is that they provide insight into the behavior of the audience, and they can also provide you the performance of a news article. If, let's say, I am a journalist, I have written an article and I have published it on the news website. Now I can see how many people have read it, how many people have shared it, what are the comments that people are making, whether people are reading it whole or not. Through this whole, and this is the most important part, why we are seeing web analytics in newsrooms, is that this data is then used by news organizations to develop news strategies so that they can attract larger audience.
Mohit, sorry to interrupt. Can you
Yes,
just
ma'am.
move the next slide?
Okay. This
Yes.
is the next slide. This is basically the impact
The
of
slide
web.
which shows what is news.
What is news, ma'am? I have not defined.
Deciding what is news,
Yes, ma'am.
which you
This
were
is
talking about, traditional
yes,
method and all. Go to
yes,
the
ma'am.
next slide. Yes,
This
slide 2, so that we
yes.
can coherent with what you are talking and with the
Okay,
thing. That would be helpful for us. Go to the next slide, please.
ma'am.
The next slide, deciding what is news, traditional method, slide 2.
Ma'am, I am on slide 2. Is this also not real?
The slide 2. This is third one.
Ma'am, let me try again. I'm really sorry for this. Usually this does not happen. Let me try again. Ma'am, this slide third now on your screen too?
Yes, this is third.
Yes.
Can you just give
Yes.
slide 2?
Ma'am, this is slide 2. The
Yeah, I
title
want
was
this
on
slide.
1. The second
Yes,
was
go to the,
deciding what is news,
yes,
traditional.
yeah, you can talk, now you
Okay.
can continue.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, so this is what I was talking about, that news organizations today, they are able to collect real-time data about the audience, and they can generate insight. And this is what I was saying, that exactly these are the 3 points. These are the 3 points why news organizations are using web analytics to provide insight into the behavior of the audiences, to monitor the performance of the news articles, and ultimately, this is the biggest target for news organizations today, is to develop strategies so that they can attract larger audience and increase revenue. Now, one of the issue is that we all know that media has to find, news media especially, has to find a balance between serving democracy and turning a profit. However, in this case of use of web analytics, these are the list. If you can see this list on your screen, that web analytics is now being used to decide what story to pursue, to decide the placement of story on the website, to decide the packaging of the story, what photos or what kind of videos to use, timing of the release, duration of the placement, whether a story should be followed up or not. This is one of the big factors. Whether the resources should be allocated to one particular type of beat or one particular type of reporters, the wordings of headlines. So this changes, whatever these changes you are seeing on the screen, these are huge. These, if you see them collectively, these change the essence of journalism as we understand it. Now, before going on to the I'm sorry, before going on to deciding how good or bad this is, I would also like to point out that there are certain reasons why this is happening in journalism. One of the first reason is that in the last 10 years specifically, there has been a fall in traditional revenue sources. There has been a fall in traditional revenue for news organization. In India, we have seen this in the last 3 years, specifically Indian readership surveys in 2019 and FICCI's report in 2021 made it very clear that the younger generation, as it is moving towards internet and digital technologies, they are less likely to subscribe to traditional sources of news like newspapers, or they are not watching television news, right? Because they are consuming it directly from internet. So this means that news organizations are losing their traditional source of income. And at the same time, there is an increased competition in the online world too. Let's say that if the audiences have moved online, then the news organizations, the logic would go that the news organizations should also move online. They should follow their audience. But you have to understand that on the online world, in the online world, these organizations, news organizations, they face very stiff competition from social media platforms and other online gaming platforms also. So in the online world, in the digital world, audiences' attention is now split into different categories, and it is and news organizations have to compete against them. And it is not only this, the advertising revenue, which is one of the biggest factors, which is one of the biggest contributor in overall revenue for any media organization, the advertising revenue in the online world is also a commodity that is heavily contested between different platforms. There are social media platforms, as I said, gaming platforms, and there is news organizations, that there are influencers, then right. So news organizations are facing very stiff competition. The other is that the popularity of certain independent individual digital news providers, people who are not journalists by definition, but they have their own YouTube channels, they have their own Instagram handles, they have their own Twitter handles, and they are becoming news provider for the newer generation. Now, what this shows, I do not have the exact reasoning for this, and I have searched through the literature, and literature still lacks this, that we do not understand exactly why these new independent individuals who have their own YouTube channel, they are famous with the news audience. But if you want to take a guess, you would also say that maybe they are in digital. Okay, maybe they are more accessible to the younger generation. But at the same time, I can say that news organization, they have website, they have their own YouTube channels. But at the same time, there is a competition from a new class of news providers who are not journalists in a traditional sense. And the last point is something that I believe you can see or you can look around in your own social collection, is that very few people are ready to pay for news that they consume online. So even if news organizations are making effort, are making effort to offer digital content to the news, to the audiences, the audience at large is not ready to pay for the news. Now, research shows, we are moving on to the approaches, how news organizations use, how they integrate web analytics in newsroom. The integration of web analytics in newsrooms is not uniform. It is dependent, it is highly dependent on organizational policy and management directives. There are two approaches that I was able to find. One is short term, where the news organization simply targets increased views, and the other one is future returns, where the news organization, they try to create loyalty among their consumers, and they try to create loyalty among their consumers, and try to sell subscription, try to increase their revenue by subscription.
Mohit, you have 3 minutes more, so you can just.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Definitely. Now, there are, however, certain issues which are related to web analytics. There are certain ethical considerations related to web analytics. You may have, some of you might have, especially the keen observers who are on news websites or follow news cycle, you may have read certain headlines which offer you very trivial information. If there is a cricketer who is on holiday, the news organization will have an article about it and they will be posting their pictures. Or if not this, you might have noticed that there is, because I am a frequent user of NDTV app and website, so I can tell you this, that if you are on the home page of NDTV, you are bound to find at least two headlines which you can say that are clickbait in nature. They will say that Rahul Gandhi said this and BJP reacted this way. So what is happening is, in the pursuit of views, there are certain the function of journalism that exists to serve society at large, or democracy at large, or public discourse at large. It is losing out due to web analytics. This results in news that is trivial in nature or that is sensational in nature. And at the same time, because there is no deadline as of now in the digital world, and news organizations, they are losing money hard and fast from everywhere. So they try to increase their production. And in that increase of production ultimately harms the journalist. While this opens up a whole new avenue of research, I will restrict this point to this only, that the use of web analytics also impact the workload of individual journalists. Now, the bigger question is, how do we go forward? I don't know how to put this, but the research is not very clear, because we have to be wise when we are talking about journalism, because we are talking about public discourse, we are talking about society, then we have to be very wise. So we cannot call for brushing aside of web analytics in newsrooms, because the financial uncertainty that plagues newsrooms is very real. So we cannot simply say that news organizations should not use web analytics because it is leading to certain ethical considerations. But at the same time, we have to make sure that there is not unrestrained use of web analytics. There is a need for equilibrium between journalistic principle and financial goals of news organizations. And with this, I would like to end here. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you, Mohit.
Thank you.
The session is now open to the questions. So your questions, please.
Thank you, Mohit. It was a good presentation, but I feel that your topic is very, very relevant to the contemporary news scenario. And of course, everybody would agree that there is a competition with social media, and ad revenue metrics has also changed. And now in the mobile revolution, no one is ready to pay for the news. But this is all, as you told in the beginning, that this is a kind of a review paper. You are reviewing a contemporary phenomena in the news industry, how traditional form of journalism is giving space to the new digital form. But it would have been more interesting and you can say, important and valuable if
Yes,
you could have interviewed some editor of the digital section, that what are the parameters, how do they select the headlines or give the preference, because your topic is editorial decision making.
yes, sir.
Editorial decision making is done by the people who are sitting in the newsroom, and how that is governed, or we can say regulated by the web analytics, or the what is the role of web analytics in the newsroom decision making,
Okay.
that needs to be actually connected in a
Yes, sir.
research attempt. The researcher has to be needs to be connect both the things, and that is only possible when you talk to the digital journalists. What is their opinion and what is their experience? Do they do this intentionally or unintentionally?
Okay, sir. So I will use this as a suggestion for my future studies, because I plan to do a certain amount of more work in the same direction. So I really thank you for your valuable suggestion. I will be using them for future purpose.
Are you doing a doctoral work on this topic, Mohit?
Yes, sir, something related to this. Actually, I am focusing on the impact of technology on journalism. I am yet to frame all the questions, but this is supposed to be one of the questions. So I will definitely be using what the suggestion that you have mentioned, sir.
Dr. Oja,
हाँ, मोहित, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपको। बहुत अच्छा काम है आपका, और बिल्कुल जो चिंताएं हैं आपकी पत्रकारिता को लेकर, वो बहुत ही वाजिब हैं। टेक्नोलॉजी तो जरूरी है कम्युनिकेशन में, और हम
हाँ,
पूरा
ये सर।
इतिहास देख रहे हैं, लेकिन उस टेक्नोलॉजी का हम क्या करें, ये बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है। और आपके सवाल जो हैं तुम्हें बहुत ही वाजिब हैं, इसको जानना। निश्चित रूप से एक मैं बस यहाँ उदाहरण रखना चाहूंगा कि
जी जी सर।
ये अपने यहाँ पत्रकारिता में एक टाइम्स ऑफ इंडिया ग्रुप के एडिटर के
जी
नाम
सर।
से एक ट्रेंड चला। उन्होंने न्यूज को डिफाइन किया इस तरह से कि विज्ञापनों के बाद जो खाली जगह बच जाती है वो न्यूज है। और पता नहीं
ओके सर।
आपने अपनी न्यूज की परिभाषा को कैसे देखा है, लेकिन ये
ओके
बहुत
सर।
चिंता की बात थी। और फिर जो भी आप ट्रिविलाइजेशन देख रहे हैं एनालिटिक्स के जरिए, या फिर जो हम टीआरपी देखते हैं दूसरी जगहों पे, जो उसका ट्रेंड रहा है कि कहाँ से टीआरपी मीटर्स कहाँ लगे हुए हैं, यहाँ पे कौन लोग उसको देख रहे हैं। तो वो एक तो है कि लोग क्या पढ़ रहे हैं, क्या ज्यादा पढ़ रहे हैं, उससे आपको समझ में आती है। लेकिन जो पत्रकारिता की बात है कि जो लोग चाहते हैं, अगर लोग चाहने लगते हैं कि हमें जो है खाली इंटरटेनमेंट ही देखना है, तो क्या हम इंटरटेनमेंट दिखाएंगे क्या? एनालिटिक्स तो ये कह देगा।
हाँ,
तो
ये
ये मेरे ख्याल से आपने जैसा अभी कहा डॉक्टर देवव्रत के पॉइंट्स को लेके कि आप इस पे आगे और काम करेंगे, तो इस टेक्नोलॉजी को आगे देखना बहुत जरूरी है कि हम इसका क्या कर रहे हैं। कि जैसे जिस तरफ जनता हमें बहा ले जा रही है, अखबार और मीडिया उस तरफ बह जाएंगे, या जो कोर जर्नलिज्म या जो डेमोक्रेसी की बात है उस दिशा में रहेंगे। और इसमें बहुत ये जानना जरूरी है कि जो लोग इसका इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं उनकी राय ली जाए, वो कैसे देखते हैं, वो बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण होगा।
बिल्कुल सर।
थैंक यू मैम।
ठीक है सर, थैंक यू सर। मैं आपने जो सजेशन दिए मैं डेफिनेटली उनको आगे इंक्लूड करूंगा। और सर स्पेसिफिकली जो आपने कोड बताया, मैं एक बार उसको ढूंढ के पढ़ने की कोशिश करूंगा, क्योंकि काफी सुनने में ही सर काफी रिवॉल्यूशनरी, मे बी सही टर्म नहीं होगा, पर बड़ी अलग वे में डेफिनेशन है न्यूज की। मैं उसको एक बार डेफिनेटली पढ़ने की कोशिश करूंगा। थैंक यू सर।
Thank you, Mohit. Any other questions from the participants? Okay, if there's no questions, then we'll move on to the next presentation.
Thank you.
The next presentation, thank you, Mohit. The next presentation would be by Namrata Devi and Rajesh on the title Integration of Internet of Things, IoT for Building Potent Libraries by Enhancing its Technological Advancement. Namrata, you can start your presentation. Please share your slides.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone present over here. My name is Namrata Devi. First of all, I would like to say many thanks to Adamas University for giving me this golden opportunity to present my first conference paper presentation. And my presentation topic is on integration of the Internet of Things for building potent libraries by enhancing its technological advancement. Here is the outline of my presentation. First, we'll go through the introduction. Libraries are adapting to this new technological culture for its advancement and development. In this era of the internet, the most effective upgradation in innovation is from the Internet of Communication to the Internet of Things. IoT is connecting just everything to the internet in real time, which directly improves our quality of life and experiences. With the help of the system of IoT like cloud computing, sensor pad, and magic mirror, this is possible to transform a library into a smart library. The main aim of IoT is to transform the city into a smart city, institution into a smart institution, the road into a smart road, the hospitals into a smart hospital, and the library into a smart library, and many more. Next, this is the literature survey. As we have studied the literature survey, we came to know the different research paper as similar to our research paper. Since 2015 to 2022, different authors has studied on IoT. Some of them focused on use of IoT, especially in academic or public libraries and possible scope of it. In our study, we are including the potential impact on libraries, especially in a positive way, and also comprehensive review of the implementation of IoT in libraries. And we have identified the prospective areas where IoT can be applied effectively in libraries. Next, we'll go through the objectives. The main objectives of my studies are to discuss the Internet of Things and its potential impact on libraries, and to provide a comprehensive review of the implementation of IoT in libraries and identify the prospective areas where IoT can be applied effectively in libraries. Next, we'll go through the methodology. This study is qualitatively based on conceptual research, and data are collected from secondary sources which are available online. That is journals, conference proceedings, websites, weblogs, magazines, irrespective of any geographical location. The research study is mainly conducted by observing and analyzing the current information related to this topic. Next is architecture of IoT. Technology has a wide variety of applications, and use of Internet of Things is growing so faster. Depending upon different application areas of Internet of Things, it works accordingly as per it has been designed. There are some basic fundamental architecture of IoT. These are, first is sensing layer. This layer includes the sensors and actuators. This layer with the ability to sense, compute, and connect other devices to collect information from various sources. Next is network layer. It includes protocols and technologies that enables devices to connect and communicate with each other and with the wider internet. This layer mainly includes internet gateways, network gateways. Examples of network technologies that are commonly used in IoT like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. Next layer is data processing layer. This layer is responsible for collecting, analyzing, and interpreting data from IoT devices. Next layer is application layer. This layer includes various smart applications and software like mobile apps, web portal, and other interfaces through which users can access and control IoT devices. These are the significant tools for IoT. There are some of the significant tools of IoT which might help in enhancement of the libraries. First picture is pressure sensor pad. This consists of multiple sensing elements with a soft padded sensor facilitated with Wi-Fi technology, which records and controls the unit that responds to pressure. It can record the regular movement of the user in particular passageway so that the collection of books of recorded section can be increased to provide sufficient information. Pressure pad sensor can also be linked to electrical energy system to minimize electrical energy loss. Next is radio frequency identification, RFID. RFID is a technology that is working on a radio frequency of radio waves. This technology is used to automatically identifying the objects or tracking the objects. Here, objects can be anything. It could be books in the library or any item purchasing from the shopping mall. In RFID technology, the RFID tag used to get attached to the object which we want to track. This RFID system contains mainly RFID reader and the RFID tag. Next picture is cloud computing. Cloud computing is providing on-demand service over the internet. Cloud computing system can save the money and space with better security. Rather than managing files and services on a local device, cloud computing can provide most efficient and effective way to store and access files. There are some other significant tools which we can apply in libraries like Magic Mirror, wireless sensor network, and many more. In our next slide, we are going to discuss about the application area of IoT in libraries. There are numerous fields where IoT can be implemented to gain benefit from it. That is education, city, health, agriculture, home, office, transport, libraries, etc. But in this paper focuses mainly on the implementation of IoT in libraries. By seeing this picture, we can identify that where and how we can apply IoT tools in libraries. There are different sections in libraries like circulation sections, reference sections, where we can apply IoT tools. In our next slide, I'm going to discuss briefly about these application areas of IoT. First one is inventory control. Managing the inventory things apart from books, journals, magazines, other sources like
आवाज नहीं आ रही है आपकी?
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, yes. Please continue.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Inventory control. Managing the inventory things apart from books, journals, magazines, other sources like microfiche, video and audio by applying sensors to them. IoT can track every item's movement.
Your slide is
So-
not being shared.
Presentation is not there. Yeah.
Sir?
Your slide is not being shared.
I'm so sorry for the inconvenience. I'm trying to share my slide again.
Amrita?
Yes,
Are you
ma'am.
there?
Ma'am, now is it okay?
There's only a white screen.
I'm so sorry, ma'am.
No problem. Do you have any difficulty in sharing the slide?
Yes, ma'am. Maybe technological error happening, ma'am.
Okay.
Either you exit and rejoin, or you can try resharing your screen.
Okay, sir.
Uh, that is the biggest problem of technology. It can reach you anytime.
Yeah. Namrata has left. Will she rejoin or?
She will join back.
Yeah.
Where are you from, Dr. Vesna?
Sir, I'm from Mother Teresa Women's University,
Which state?
Tamil Nadu.
Tamil Nadu. All right.
Okay.
Do you run masters? PG or UG?
We run PG, sir. It's
PG in mass communication.
mass communication journalism.
Yes, Dr. Sharmila, you tell.
Hello, sir.
Hello. Is she back, Namrata Devi?
Sir, Alfred Hussain sir from Assam University also here. I can see whether he is able to present now. Alfred sir.
Just message him whether he joined to present something, or he just want to listen to others.
Hello, ma'am. Hello, sir. I'm so sorry
Yes.
for the inconvenience.
No problem, ma'am. Can you share your slide now?
Yeah, ma'am. Sure, ma'am.
Yes, your screen is visible, Namrata. You open your PPT.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Still.
Yes, Namrata, you can start.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, sir.
Carry on.
So we were discussing about the application areas of IoT in libraries. First one is for inventory control. For managing the inventory things apart from books, journals, other sources like audios, videos, by applying sensors to them. IoT can track every item's movement. Through RFID, better internet control is feasible and which will help the libraries stock verification. QR codes and RFID text. Through the QR code, the user can get a brief introduction about the book users are going to borrow. This can be done through his smartphone using internet facility. Next one is recording of book transaction analysis. With the help of IoT system, users will get a mobile alert and users will able to know most issued and demanded book list of their mobile through a message. Next one is navigation by GPS. For locating books inside the library, the IoT system can be used. There are various mobile apps using RFID, near field communication, and Zigbee will help users to locate books inside the library. Next point is stock verification. To verify the details of the materials, specification, and balance quantity as mentioned in the library register, IoT system can be utilized. Next point is maintenance of infrastructure. IoT plays a vital role in maintaining infrastructure. With the help of sensor lights, fans, and air conditioners can be controlled from a remote location. With this technology, the lights, fans, air conditioners can be automatically turned on and automatically turned off based on the uses. So this will ultimately help to save energy. Next one is mobile alerts. Mobile alerts can provide information about various services in library. Mobile alerts provides the information like new arrivals, special collection, library archives. This system can also provide the reminder of fine, due date, etc. Next one is security. For the security purpose also, IoT can be utilized. With the help of sensors, library can be protected from the theft and alerting the library staff when the books on the racks are misplaced by the users. Through the help of heat sensor, library can be protected from the fire accidents. In my next slide, I'm going to conclude my presentation by saying that IoT has been continuously bringing technological changes in our daily lives with the help of various IoT tools. IoT plays an important role in the lives of millions of people across the world. It is used in various domains of society, which ultimately reduce the human intervention and commands and provide maximum automation. IoT has great potential to develop library services by making cloud computing, magic mirror, and pressure fed sensor, and many more IoT tools. IoT tools increase the efficiency and effectiveness of day-to-day library work and services. These are the reference of my presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the wonderful presentation. The session is now open for the questions, sir. So your
Thank you.
questions.
Thank you, Namrata. It was really enriching presentation. How Internet of Things is transforming our libraries, and nowadays I belong to a know that most of the central universities now they are upgrading their libraries through Internet of Things. Your perspective is completely a perspective from the industry, how they present themselves that IoT is going to revolutionize the overall experience of library and library users. You have done some literature review also. Did you find any users perspective also, that what are the challenges, what are the problems, or what are the we can say experiences of users after adoption of IoT in library? If we compare the experience with the traditional form of libraries, how the users feel? Did you find any study on that perspective also?
No, sir. My study is mainly positive impact of IoT tools in libraries. So my focus is on especially the positive impact of IoT tools in libraries.
All right. Or the biggest problem and challenge before Indian libraries are biggest challenge is that this adoption process needs a lot
Yes,
of
sir.
money,
Yes, sir.
and not every institution has that money, that fund to buy that software or to adopt that entire new technology, because this is all foreign technology. And second thing is, what would you do with the text which is already there in the print books, old books? Because these companies say that they should be converted into digital form. All the books should be converted into digital forms. Accessibility wise, it's wonderful that you can access remotely also from your home, from your other city also you can access the library. But how much you can read on the screen? Nowadays libraries, they are providing for a lot of computer systems, because they say that a lot of digital content we have, but is that useful from the perspectives of eyes, or other health issues are also concerned? You can think about that. Yes, Dr. Oza.
जी ये बहुत ही नई जानकारी है, नया विषय है नए इलाके में। मेरे ख्याल से नम्रता जी लाइब्रेरियन है ना?
जी सर, मैं एक प्राइवेट कॉलेज की लाइब्रेरियन हूँ।
हाँ हाँ, कहीं लाइब्रेरियन इज लाइब्रेरियन
यस सर,
कहीं भी हो। तो जो प्रोफेसर देवव्रत ने कहा एक तरह से कि ठीक है कि लिटरेचर में तो आपने शायद यूजर पर्सपेक्टिव नहीं देखा, लेकिन जब आप ये पेपर लिख रही हैं एज ए लाइब्रेरियन, मेरे ख्याल से आपकी एक पंक्ति मुझे ध्यान में आ रही है कि ये जो टेक्नोलॉजी है लीस्ट ह्यूमन इंटरवेंशन, माने आदमी उसमें नहीं रहेंगे, ऐसी लाइब्रेरी होने वाली है। तो हमें मैंने एक एथिकल क्वेश्चन है कि जब भी टेक्नोलॉजी तो अपने आप में हमें बहुत ही चमत्कृत करती है कि वाह एकदम इसमें तो कुछ भी कहीं आदमी की जरूरत ही नहीं है, सब बढ़िया हो जाएगा। लेकिन हम एक ऐसे देश और ऐसे समाज में रहते हैं जहाँ बहुत सारे लोग हैं, तो उस बीच में हम कितनी टेक्नोलॉजी ले सकते हैं या ये टेक्नोलॉजी किस तरह से हमें मददगार होगी, उस पर जरूर ध्यान जाना चाहिए। क्योंकि हम जब रिसर्च करने जाते हैं तब भी सिर्फ रिसर्च जो है रिसर्च के पर्पस से ही नहीं होना चाहिए, हमें ये भी देखना चाहिए कि हमारे उस रिसर्च का हमारी सोसाइटी में और हम जहाँ रहते हैं उसमें किस तरह से योगदान हो सकता है। मेरे ख्याल से आपने कहा ही कि आप इसको देखेंगे आगे। ये एक पॉइंट है कि हम जो भी टेक्नोलॉजी आती है, क्योंकि उसके काफी रिपरकशंस हैं, जो मॉनिटरी एस्पेक्ट जो प्रोफेसर देवव्रत ने कहा, हमारे पास वो है नहीं, हम ये डेवलप नहीं कर रहे हैं, हम उसके उत्पादक भी नहीं हैं। तो ऐसे में ये जो है नई टेक्नोलॉजी वो किस तरह से हमारे लिए उपयोगी है, इस पर ध्यान देना चाहिए। ठीक है, थैंक यू।
Yes sir, thank you so much for your valuable suggestion.
Ma'am, I have a question for you. So one of my concerns were what are the IoT's biggest challenge that's supposed to be is that the in data privacy threat or data theft. How is IoT going to be an essential point? Do you see this as a positive stand or a negative stand? One. And the second one was a question for me with the devices that you were talking about in a slide. Recently, when we include with one of the serious concerns of librarians is the tampering of devices in their firmware. What is your concern towards that?
Sorry ma'am, for the purpose of security ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, there are so many softwares and so many IoT tools which we can apply for the security purpose, like this RFID technology for stock verification. For this purpose, we can use that RFID.
No, what about the data theft that's being considered? How was that being dealt with? Taking of the personal informations.
Sorry, ma'am, I didn't get you.
Okay. No, what I was talking about is how are you people dealing with the data theft that's been considered as a serious challenges in using IoT? Okay. Okay. Thank you. Is there any questions from the participants? Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Namrata. That was a wonderful presentation. Thank you. Is there anybody else who has to be present?
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Is there anybody who is yet to present? Any absentees who's rejoined? Hussain, sir?
Madam, good morning. This is Alfarid Hussain from Assam University.
Yes, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Very loud and clear.
Yes. Professor Devrat Singh and Dr. Ojha and Dr. Sharmila Kayal, if you'd allow me, this presentation is a joint presentation by Dr. Aisha Rashid, who is an assistant professor at the Department of Mass Communication.
No introduction is required, we know. Sir,
Yes. No,
yes.
I would also like to include a slight problem here with our presentation.
Okay.
The presentation was supposed to have been made by my colleague, Dr. Aisha, but she could not be present here today because of an medical emergency. So the PPT that was supposed to have been presented as part of this seminar conference was with her. I have the paper with me. If you'd allow, I'd just like to read out relevant portions. It's a longish paper, but still I'd like to register my presence at my participation at my intervention as much as possible. And I'd like to take this opportunity to at least make our presence, register our presence in this conference. So,
Yes, please go ahead.
Yes,
Dr. Alfred, allow.
I am just wondering if I can share my Word file also in through this.
But you are not visible.
Yes, sir, you can share it, sir.
Yes. Share screen. Or I just would.
No, it's not visible, Dr. Alfred.
Or sir, can I just read out the paper if you allow?
You please. You please.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
Can you switch on your video?
Yes, I'm trying to. I am actually trying to switch on my video.
Maybe network is very poor.
It says stop video.
Better stop the video and then we can listen.
Yeah, because of weak network, I think.
Yes.
Yes.
Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. So the title of our paper today for presentation is Artifacts of Participatory Digital Culture, Internet Memes and Political Delegitimization. So within the domain of political communication, Internet memes have today come to play an important role in creating discourses in the political landscape. So this paper deals with how Internet memes has the potential to create, legitimize certain political discourses and delegitimize at the same time. So in the introduction, we have mentioned the use of various forms of digital communication, and in particular social media, has grown rapidly to the point that social media has become one of the most popular internet services in the world, thereby providing an avenue for social and political participation to many who previously may not have found such an avenue either apparent or available. One form of digital communication that falls into this category is internet memes. The term meme is a shortening of mime, which comes from ancient Greek mimema, meaning imitated thing, with foundations in the evolutionary work of British biologist Richard Dawkins, and situated at the nexus of language, society, popular culture, and communication science. Internet memes represent the artifacts of participatory digital culture, a phrase that was used by Wiggins and Bowers in 2015. Furthered by the relative low barriers to artistic expression and civic engagement, Jenkins, it afforded by internet memes, they can be seen as offering certain demographics and opportunity for political expression, engagement, and participation, which otherwise might have been denied. Internet memes have been succinctly described as an example of artifacts of participatory digital culture. Foregrounded by this above scenario, this paper examines a selection of internet memes in relation to the political scenario in India by focusing on the 2019 general elections. By conducting a multimodal discourse analysis as an example of Wiggins's and Bowers's participatory digital culture, this paper situates internet memes as a creative device that facilitates the potentially viral communication of one's own political beliefs, attitudes, and orientation, generally always among groups sharing the same, similar, or opposing ideological beliefs. This study highlights the multitude of ways in which internet memes are able to provide insight into how everyday media texts intertwine with public discourses. Particular attention is given to the ways in which internet memes are frequently utilized as a device for delegitimization. The researchers have adopted Van Leeuwen's 2007 framework for analyzing discourses of delegitimization, but considers the framework from an inverse negative position, that is delegitimization. However, with our explicit focus on delegitimization and the manner in which internet memes often exhibit a tendency to negatively characterize the target, the paper therefore considers them for this negated position. So the other portions of the paper basically deals with the various, samples that we have selected for this particular study. But before that, I'd just like to go back to defining internet memes. The term meme is appropriated from Richard Dawkins, who has coined this term for a unit of culture passed on by imitation. In Dawkins's view, nearly everything cultural, from architectural styles to the happy birthday song, is a meme. Blackmore took this even further by claiming that humans are essentially passive vessels through which memes replicate. However, the word as it has come to be applied to a specific type of internet ephemera implies human behavior that is far from passive. Internet memes can take many forms, including still images that resemble editorial cartoons and parody videos of the latest hit pop song. Schiffman proposes that internet memes be defined as distinct from other memes. Specifically, internet memes are, according to Schiffman, a group of digital items sharing common characteristics of content, form, and/or stance, which were created with awareness of each other and were circulated, imitated, or transformed via the internet by many users. So there is the element of participation involved in the form of the user's intervention. And meme as discourse and participation in the digital public sphere. The perceived divide between talking and doing that undergirds critics of so-called selectivism or hashtag activism is also at the center of debates regarding deliberative and participatory democracy. Internet memes challenge these distinctions between talking and doing in democratic theory. In some ways, meme creation can be akin to creating a homemade poster and joining a picket line. In the case of the Occupy Wall Street movement, certain memes functioned as grassroots activity, both to rally for and substitute for physical presence in those protests. Meme creation involves the physical use of tools such as computer with photo manipulation software on the part of individuals to create a tangible, if digital, product. Meme participants must then actively share their version of a meme with others through sites such as Reddit or Chan, the meme aggregator, Know Your Meme, Twitter, or Facebook to get social credit and become part of the larger conversation. Now coming to the discourse of delegitimization, in the recent era, the discourse of the media is to represent the events in dichotomous ways to serve vested interests. In this sense, promoting certain representations using discursive strategies of legitimization has been made feasible in the discourse of political issues. A notion frequently referenced in relation to political discourse is that of legitimization, that is idea from Van Dijk, Van Leeuwen, Francesconi. They highlight that in political rhetoric, legitimacy is achieved through communication that successfully aligns actions with the prevalent social values of the time. Vara 2014 reinforces this and defines legitimization as the creation of a sense of positive, beneficial, ethical, understandable, necessary, or otherwise acceptable action in a specific setting. This is evident in the manner that institutions, including corporations and governments, have sought to establish legitimacy in many contentious areas such as immigration policy, defense strategy, environmental issues, among others. So, the present study, the researchers have identified the main themes and topics specifically focused during the 2019 elections in India. The identification of the themes and topics on which to focus analysis were made primarily in relation to the issues dominating the BJP, Congress, and the Aam Aadmi Party's campaigns as reported in social media, particularly on Facebook. The vast majority of the meme encounters were focused upon acts of delegitimization of the candidates' credentials or suitability for office. The analytical framework was Van Leeuwen's framework, in which 4 strategies involved in delegitimizations were applied. The research questions were: research question 1, what stance does the meme appear to take and how does the meme exemplify delegitimizing discourse? And research question 2 is, what specific delegitimization strategies are used by the memes? So the 4 legitimizing strategies that Van Leeuwen talks about are authorization. How is authority represented in the meme? How is the authority portrayed in the meme utilized as a form of delegitimization? The second strategy is moral evaluation. What moral values are invoked by the meme and what moral evaluative techniques are used to delegitimize? The third legitimization strategy is rationalization. Does the content of the meme represent some kind of truth? Is it representative of the way things are not? Does the meme utilize specific rationalization techniques to delegitimize the candidate? And number 4, the 4th legitimization strategy is mythopoiesis. Does the meme offer any alternative future projections? Does the meme reflect a moral or cautionary narrative? And is the strategy of mythopoiesis adopted by the meme? Based on these 4 legitimization strategies, the subjects of this study that were included were Prime Minister of India Narendra Modi from the BJP, Indian National Congress's leader Rahul Gandhi, and the background of the 2019 elections become the context in which this analysis was carried out. So some of the major themes, so the analysis reveals that some of the major themes on which hundreds and thousands of internet memes were created and circulated in the pre and the post-election period were: number 1 was this theme called the Pappu. The condensed narrative or the mise-en intrigue portrayed through memes is somewhat black and white. Since the BJP came to power at the center in 2014, if there is one narrative that has become common sense, Rahul Gandhi is projected as an unintelligent and ill-informed Pappu, a simpleton, and thus naturally unfit to become the prime minister. So this is one theme that emerges from this particular study. The second is the 5-year challenge. The BJP's IT social media cell leveraged the then ongoing meme trend to draw a parallel between the 5 years of governance during the Congress rule and the 5 years of governance during the BJP rule. The 5-year challenge, it covered a range of topics like inflation, infrastructure, sanitation, safety, security, national security, etc. The campaign found strength with BJP leaders seeding content on similar lines. So the third is the foreigner Italian lineage, another meme trend that was made viral by the BJP. The fourth is the meme campaign on themes of libtard, secular, andhbhakt, and online, and these words that have become part of the online political lexicon today. So in conclusion, there are several other ideas that I am just skipped for paucity of time. In conclusion, we can say that the idea of social media as a force multiplier in politics has gained virality in our minds, especially after the 2012 US presidential elections and the 2014 general elections in India. From the Brazilian president Bolsonaro's WhatsApp campaign to influence voters, to Philippines President Rodrigo Duterte's use of Facebook, and the troll armies to broadcast and amplify his support, social media has been used by political parties both as a tool of empowerment and oppression. In India, the world's most populous democracy and the second largest online market, political parties, through a suite of apps, websites, blogs, social networking sites, and social messaging services, have gone up a notch and made social media political communication a part of the people's daily lives. Given the dizzying range of diversities and the multi-hyphenated identities of the electorate and their varied opinions, concerns, and stakes, political parties in India in 2019 were quick to reach out to the 900 million Indian voters spread across 930,000 polling booths using the communication cache of social media memes. Aided by affordable 4G internet connection and smartphone, social media was a godsend for political parties. Political parties have used social media to directly and continuously engage with the voters, and social media, it has played a prominent role in the 2019 general election as political parties, politicians, and supporters used it extensively for political campaigning and communication. Following the global trend, social media was increasingly used by Indian political actors for routine political communication between elections to provide unmediated and direct communication to connect leaders and the citizenry and to re-energize the political landscape in the country. So, overall, the selection of memes presented in this paper represent a minute portion of those generated on social media platforms for the two major political fronts in this study. The creators of these memes, whether it is the political parties themselves or their supporters, have engaged in acts of political participation that convey their ideological stance. This has been achieved through the delegitimization strategies of authorization, moral evaluation, rationalization, and mythopoesis. Within this participatory digital culture, these strategies are woven into the meme iteration, not only to help the creator share their view and spread their message in the hope of influencing others, but to delegitimize the target of the meme in order to bring about their own desired political results. So with this, I come to the end of this presentation, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Oh,
Thank you, sir, for the
excellent.
presentation. Now it's open for the questions. Sir, your questions, please.
Dr. Alfred,
Yes, sir.
it was an interesting topic and you presented quite well. Some people, they translate memes and as a satirical political communication.
Yes, yes.
And you are saying that memes are, your hypothesis or thesis is
Yes.
saying that memes are legitimatizing certain things. Of course, if you are talking about pro-establishment, there are anti-establishment memes.
Yes.
So, I was just wondering how many memes have you selected for your study, and what is the sample size, or are these based on journal observations you have collected?
Yes, sir. Actually, sir, the sample depends on the number of themes that we picked up for the study. Particularly, we picked up the dominant, ideas that came up on the social media discourses. That is basically to pick up on ideas that have become viral in a sense, especially in the context of the 2019 elections. One of the themes that we picked up was the term called Pappu. So within Pappu, there were whatever ideas were shared or made viral in the form of memes were picked up as part of the analysis. So it depends. it actually it expanded. The numbers were random in the sense that for one particular theme, we picked up around 10 to 12 memes. And say for another theme, for example, Feku became another major, mimetic, theme during the 2019. We got around, say, 20 to 25 ideas. So this is all part of the presentations that was supposed to have been made, the graphical, the representations. So anyway, we are including it in our paper, all these visual representations of the memes being shared on internet, especially during that point in time. And also particularly the memes on particular individual political leaders. And we paid our special attention only to three major leaders, that is Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Congress leader Rahul Gandhi, and Aam Aadmi Party's Arvind Kejriwal. So based on all these, representations, so and the selection of this meme, as you said, pro-establishment and anti-establishment, we ensured that the representation was bipartisan in a sense, so that it included memes from both the libtards and the uptards and all sections of the political spectrum. So to put a fixed specific number to the sample size would not be possible right now, but it was based on thematic and understanding of the general political landscape during that point in time, sir.
Did you analyze the memes on the basis of their visual analysis parameters?
Yes. For example, Thanos. For example, this Marvel, superhero, that also had become quite a trend at one point in time. So we see these political leader, particularly Narendra Modi, being represented as Thanos, a superhero figure, or Captain America, a superhero figure. So these are very interesting, insights into understanding the way the political discourse is sought to be propagated to the mass public at the social media level by the IT cells or by the social media cells of different political parties. So this is of course a part of the analysis of this study, sir. The visual representation of the
yes, Dr. Oja.
No. शुक्रिया अल फरीद साहब, मेरे ख्याल से नाम आपका अल फरीद है ना?
अल फरीद, yes sir.
हाँ,
अल
फरीद असल में उच्चारण है. सो बहुत ही आपका सुंदर एनरिचिंग प्रेजेंटेशन है. इसमें बहुत कुछ पूछने लायक नहीं है, बस और ही जानने लायक है. ये पेपर आपका आए और हम लोग उसको अच्छे से देखें. आपने जो ये कहा था, मेरे ख्याल से यूज किया था कि इसमें जो टाइम आपने लिया है वो 2019 इलेक्शन के पहले और बाद दोनों का लिया है.
हाँ सर,
दोनों है टाइम में.
just after the 2019 elections, yes.
अच्छा. और जहां तक मैं सुन पाया कि उसमें जो सोशल मीडिया से आपने मेंशन जो किया, वो जो फेसबुक को, विशेष रूप से फेसबुक को लिया.
फेसबुक and also some memes from the Twitter also, sir.
Twitter also.
Yes. Because it doesn't matter whether it is Twitter or Facebook, because these are shared across platforms. कभी वहां मिल जाता है तो कभी Facebook में मिल something like that. The meme is shared by a political, say, cell, both on Twitter as well as on Facebook. Sometimes if you do not find it here, you might as well find it on the other platform.
Yes. और इसमें जो है आपने डी-लेजिटिमाइजेशन का बहुत उसको अंडरलाइन किया है, लेकिन क्या इसमें वो भी थे कुछ लेजिटिमाइज करने के लिए, जैसे कि कोई द पप्पू कह के एक तरफ से चल रहा है, तो क्या कांग्रेस वालों ने कुछ पप्पू को इंटेलिजेंट या स्मार्ट दिखाने के लिए कुछ यूज किया, या इसका क्या, या अदरवाइज कि कांग्रेस फेकू कह रही है तो दूसरी तरफ से उनको स्मार्ट दिखाने जैसे मीम भी आए हैं क्या?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for this observation. We
Yeah.
have also tried to see if there is a counter narrative being created by Congress to counter this narrative of Pappu being perpetuated by the BJP. We see that the counter narrative is not in the form of uh, say negating the Pappu idea from Rahul Gandhi, but only to directly vilify, lampoon, and caricature the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So we see the fake coup as a counter to the Pappu, meme. So we do not see a virtuous, righteous, powerful or intelligent uh, ideas of Rahul Gandhi being propagated by memes, but we see a vilification, a delegitimization of Narendra Modi to counter the delegitimization of Rahul Gandhi. So it's a negative, propagation of the personality cult in the Indian political landscape.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Alkarin.
Yes, Dr. Vesna,
Sir,
please conclude.
sir, I have, out of curiosity,
Yes, yes,
I have a question for you. So
yes,
when I did a little work on memes,
okay.
what was very challenging for me was the cultural component that has been dealing with the memes was very challenging for me when I did a content analysis. So I
Yes,
would like to know how you dealt it in your paper.
yes,
And the other one is the the time duration, the period
yeah,
of the meme that survived in the internet was very challenging for me to measure because there was within minutes or within morning a meme would be very trending, and the evening it would have been the other one would have been more
yeah,
trending. So how did you measure or how did you consider that in your research paper? So this is just
yeah,
out of my curiosity I
yes,
wanted
yes.
to know.
See, the focus of our analysis was concentrated particularly on the 2019 elections. So the time period, we may say the time period of this study was a few months prior to the elections and a few months after the elections. So the specific timing is something mentioned which I'm not particularly, I would not take the risk of specifying the exact time period right now, but it is mentioned in the paper. But it is a period of, say, about a 1 year period from 6 months roughly prior to the elections and 6 months prior to it was an ongoing sort of, collection of memes over a period of time and putting it for analysis at a later point in time. But the cultural context, suppose, for example, that you have mentioned, it is absolutely relevant it is absolutely important for us to understand that these memes are also culturally specific. Culturally specific, for example, they will pick up certain, the creation of a particular meme would be absolutely relevant to a particular cultural event taking place at a particular point in time. So the cultural relevance of the meme would make sense only to people who are familiar with the cultural context of India. Some people, for example, others might not be able to appreciate the connotative, values of the significance of this meme. They make sense only in terms of what we may say as intertextual. They are connected over a pattern or an idea that has been propagated over a period of time. So in isolation, it may still make some humorous sort of satirical commentary, but it makes a deeper connection only if you look at it over an enlarged and understanding of the Indian cultural, specificities. So that is a point that we have also tried to incorporate into our study. And as far as the time frame is concerned, madam, this is about, say, from early part of 2019 till the end of 2019. So that is roughly a 1 year period for the analysis, and we have picked up several. If we send you the paper, you'll be able to see the different, memes that were popular at that point in time, and the thematic, concerns that these memes represented.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
So, we are coming to the end of the session. Vaishnavi Raj and Aishwarya Lakshmi's presentations have been missed in the session, but the rest of the papers were being presented by the presenters, and thank you for all your wonderful presentations. We had a enriched knowledge about various diversities and of researches that's going on, right from decision making of editorials to memes and to IoT. These are different avenues, and it was more than new. It was knowledge enriching for me to know more, to learn more about. And I really thank Dr. Sharmila for providing me this wonderful opportunity to meet some beautiful minds like Sir Dr. Lal Ojha sir and Dr. Dev Singh sir. I'm really thankful for sharing the session with you, and I hope everyone is enriched with the knowledge. Thank you, Sharmi ma'am, for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Vesna and Dr. Lal Bahadur Roja. Do keep in touch. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Pleasure.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Devrat sir, Lal Bahadur sir, Rashna. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Sharmi ma'am,
So we are at the end of the session. And before ending the session, I would like to thank you all. I would like to thank you, the Chief Patron, Professor Dr. Sumit Ray, Chancellor of Adams University, Patron, Professor Dr. Naveen Das, Vice Chancellor of Adams University, Professor Dr. Dipankar Bhattacharjee, Pro Vice Chancellor of Adams University, Co-Patron, Professor Dr. Sushant Kumar Mandal, Dean's Academics, Adams University. I would like to thank you, Conference Convener, Professor Dr. Momita Mukherjee, Dean, Research and Development, Adams University, Dr. Sharmila Kayal, Associate Professor of School of Media and Communication, Adams University. I would like to thank you, Conference Co-Conveners, Ms. Novina Chakraborty, Associate Professor of School of Media and Communication, Adams University. Mr. Shayok Pal, Assistant Professor of School of Media and Communication, Adams University. Then I would like to thank you, the session chair, Professor Dr. Devrat Singh sir, Professor of Department of Mass Communication, Central University of Jharkhand, Ranchi. I would like to thank you, session co-chair, Dr. Lal Bahadur Ojha sir, Senior Assistant Professor, Makhanlal Chaturvedi, National University of Journalism, Bhopal. I would like to thank you, the moderator, Dr. Vaishna J, Assistant Professor of Mother Teresa Women's University, Kodaikanal, Tamil Nadu. I would like to thank you all. I would like to thank you, Adams University. I would like to thank you all because of giving so much information about media technology. I would like to thank you all for giving your precious time for us. And before ending the session, I request all of you, please turn on the camera so I can click some pictures of us. Please.
Sure.